Now, we have to remember that the cabinet is the most important part of the parliament. And if cabinet is most important, then prime minister is the most important minister or person in the cabinet. Since he is directly elected by the people as a minister and has all the much required majority power, therefore he exercises all the powers in a very authoritative manner. Besides, the parliamentary democracy makes prime minister the most important person in the country. As far as the prime minister is concerned, his powers or functions are: he chairs all the cabinet meetings and his decision is more or less final. Then he coordinates the work of all the departments, ministers and other organizations. He keeps a generous supervision over all his ministers, over all the departments and over the working of the government. He is the one who distributes, redistributes the portfolios and works to his ministers and can also dismiss a minister. If the prime minister quits his post, then all the others have to quit it. Therefore, he is the most important or the pivot, that is the person who is responsible for the functioning of democracy. Now, besides all these powers which are given by the constitution to the prime minister, there is another factor also which makes a prime minister powerful, more powerful or the most powerful. That depends upon the personality of the prime minister. Some of the prime ministers have been not very high profile and they have just executed their powers in the manner as done by the Constitution of India. But certain prime ministers like Jawaharlal Nehru, the first prime minister of India, had a dynamic personality and he exercised his power with lot of strength. Similarly, Indira Gandhi also was a very powerful prime minister who had lots of power in her hands and could exercise and execute her authority in a very authoritative manner. But as the years have passed, we have seen more coalition governments in the country. That is, one party is not making the government, two or more parties have combined together to make the government. That is why the prime minister might not act very powerful because he is dependent on other parties for approval and for his being the prime minister of the country. Therefore, the coalition governments have shunned that personality of prime ministers being very powerful in the country. So, in spite of the fact that many powers have been given by the constitution, but the personality, the charisma that's being followed by various prime ministers is very important, but diluting the powers come the coalition government. So, that was all about the Prime Minister of India.